to democracy and civil society. The U.S. military is trained and equipped for warfare, not for community policing or maintaining civil order, and using soldiers in that role risks escalating tensions rather than calming them. It undermines the principle of civilian law enforcement, which is built on accountability, restraint, and respect for constitutional rights. Historically, democracies that blur the line between military power and civilian life risk sliding toward authoritarianism as the armed forces become instruments of political control rather than national defense. Deploying troops against citizens erodes public trust, creates fear instead of safety, and threatens the constitutional balance that prevents the government from using overwhelming military force to silence dissent. In his 52-page opinion, Breyer found that the administration went far beyond its legal authority when it sent Guard troops to assist federal immigration raids and maintain order supposedly on city streets. He noted that Trump and Defense Secretary Pete H.G.C. had publicly signaled interest in extending similar deployments to cities such as Oakland, San Francisco, Chicago, Baltimore, and New York. Plans, Breyer warned, suggested the creation of a national police force with the president as its chief. Although the judge stopped short of immediately ordering the withdrawal of the roughly 300 remaining soldiers in Los Angeles, he barred them from engaging in a broad range of law enforcement actions, including making arrests, conducting searches, setting up perimeters, or gathering evidence. His order, limited to California, will take effect September 12th unless overturned on appeal. The White House quickly condemned the ruling. Anna Kelly dismissed Breyer as a rogue judge trying to usurp the authority of the commander-in-chief, insisting that Trump had acted within his powers to protect American cities from violence and destruction, neither of which were happening in Los Angeles. When pressed on this issue at a news conference today, Donald Trump deflected from the question, twisting the answer to suit his own propaganda. Well, it was a radical left judge. But very importantly, what did you not tell me in that question or statement that you made pretty much of a statement, I think? Well, that's pretty responsible. No, you didn't say what the judge said, though. The judge said, but you can leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can continue to be in place. That's all we need. But why didn't you put that as part of your statement? Because the same judge ruled exactly as you said, except the judge said that you could leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can stay. They can remain. They can do what they have to do. The ruling stemmed from a lawsuit filed by California back in June, which argued that Trump's actions violated the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878. That law, designed to limit the domestic use of the military, prohibits federal troops from enforcing civilian law unless expressly authorized by Congress. California Governor Gavin Newsom hailed the judgment as a win for state sovereignty and constitutional limits on presidential power. No president is a king, not even Trump, Newsom said, and no president can trample a state's power to protect its people. On social media, he punctuated the point more sharply in all caps. Donald Trump loses again. The courts agree his militarization of our streets is illegal. Trump's decision to deploy military forces onto U.S. city streets are already having significant repercussions for tourism, an industry that relies heavily on perceptions of safety and freedom. Images of armored vehicles, soldiers in combat gear, and clashes between troops and protesters project instability to the outside world, making destinations like Los Angeles, Chicago, or Washington, D.C. appear less welcoming to visitors. International travelers in particular may associate the militarization of public spaces with countries in political crisis, rather than with the United States as a democratic and open society. Lawyers for the Trump regime countered that the Posse Commentators Act did not apply in this case since the Guard was deployed to protect federal personnel and facilities rather than to enforce laws directly. They argued that Trump invoked his authority under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, which allows the president to federalize state Guard units in limited circumstances, such as invasions, rebellions, or when federal law cannot otherwise be enforced. Breyer rejected that rationale. concluding that the administration knowingly ordered soldiers to carry out prohibited activities. He cited evidence that Guard members, often clad in armor and operating military vehicles, set up roadblocks, conducted crowd control, and created what amounted to a show of force in Los Angeles.